my second word of advice to you is, I know there will be a lot of information in this hour. It'll be available to you in web pages. And as Kate said, if you had any questions, any help, you need a liaison for any reason, something to guide you to who's the right person to talk to about this. Don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at the office. But my advice is, take advantage of the resources that are there for you, that you will learn about in this next hour. They are there for your use. They're not just for undergrads. I'm excited to have you join us at Biltmore Park. I look forward to seeing you over there. And I'm going to turn this back over to Kate. Again, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. We also have our Assistant Director of WCU Programs in Asheville with us, Andrew Johnson. Take it away, Andrew.
Hey all, good afternoon. I'm Andrew Johnson over at Programs in Asheville in the beautiful Biltmore Park. Beautiful and chilly for the next couple of days here. I'm actually going to share some slides with you all later, so I'll kind of stop there and let Kate kind of take us off into the next step. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Andrew. So before we dive in, we also have a graduate ambassador with us this morning who is a Biltmore Park student. So we're going to spend a little bit of time having a Q&A with this student, and I will let them introduce themselves to you. Taylor, go ahead.
Hi, yes, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Taylor Jenkins, and I'm an MBA graduate student here at the Biltmore Park campus.
Thanks, Taylor. So I'm going to start by asking I have two questions. So everyone here, if you have any questions for Taylor, just be thinking about it. You're welcome to put your questions in the chat, and we can get those answered for you. So Taylor, my first question for you is, what advice do you wish you had before you started grad school, and what resources do you know about now that you wish you had known about before?
Sure. I think the largest one for me was reaching out to your cohort of other grad students. I think it can be daunting when you first get into grad school and feels mildly competitive and you want to perform well, but being and working together has been key for my success through the Western grad program. So I would say that's a big one, as well as reaching out to your professors individually. I think that was something I didn't do early on that I wish I had done more of. They want to help. They want you to succeed. They're there to help you. Obviously there's requirements. Obviously there are things you have to do. Obviously they're not there to bail you out of bad situations, but they are there to support you, especially if you go in ahead of time to get help preparing versus getting help when something goes wrong, in my experience.
Thank you. And do you have any advice for just studying at Biltmore Park as an Asheville student?
Yeah, I think it kind of connects with the early one is find a study group you can work with, find people who are in that cohort taking the same classes as you, and put your minds together on how to best prepare for stuff going into classes and going into exams, and really work together in that aspect. It makes it both more enjoyable and also, I think, more successful.
Great, thank you so much.
Of course.
Does anyone here have any questions for Taylor while we have him on the call? Well, I guess I have one more question. I think it's always good to know about things to do outside of campus. Do you have any places, maybe in the Asheville area or just locally, that you like to go to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I am a big fan of, if you go out into, I like getting out in the wilderness, and there's a couple of ways I do that. One is, I'll mention a couple. One is you can do annual memberships to the Biltmore Estate, and it has less to do with going to the house, but their grounds are phenomenal. If you get a chance and can go out there enough to make that worthwhile, there's a cost there, obviously. And I'd say the other one I really like to do is we have if you go into like Bent Creek State Forest over kind of not far from campus right there, it's just a great place to go hike, walk around, really It's really convenient though, so it doesn't have to become an all-day ordeal, and that's kind of what I look for in my busy life.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. If no one has any further questions, then Taylor, I know you're busy. You've got a lot going on with the beginning of this semester, so I hope you have a great semester, and thank you for being with us and spending some time today to answer our questions and talk about being a grad student.
Absolutely, and if I can help in any other way, please let me know.
Thank you. Right. Okay, so with that, I am going to hand the mic over to Andrew, and Andrew is going to talk about the resources that we have at Biltmore Park. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'll let Andrew share.
All right, we all see it there, Kate. We're good to go.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So I'm Andrew Johnson. I work over at Biltmore Park. And Kevin Frazier, who unfortunately was unable to attend, he is driving back from Colowee. He is our executive director. We have a fairly small team here. It's us two. Rena, assistant, Lauren Dodgen is our events, and it looks quit. Am I still here?
You froze for a second, but you're still here.
Okay. Winter storm, maybe that's the effect. So, and then we also have an embedded IT AJ. So it's a small group, but we do as much as we can here to make it realize that we aren't Colowee, but we have our own flavor, we are our own fare and our own personality here. So I'm going to show you some logistic information as well as some other services as we kind of come through. So this is kind of the front of the building that you would see on the main drag. It's pronounced 28 Shank Parkway. If you're hearing how that word is pronounced, I feel like I'm pausing a lot. 28 Shank. And the hours of operation when we get into the normal schedule this week, obviously we are, since we're not back in session, we are closing at 8. But Monday through Thursday, we are open this semester from 8 to 9 p.m. Whether you have classes or not, you are more than welcome to use our space just to study, get any work done, print, whatever you have to do. Friday, we do close at 5 usually. Once a semester, we do have Friday evening classes through our executive hybrid, EDD, MSA type programs. And then Saturdays, we are open from 9 to 1. So we do offer some Saturday hours as well. We're open longer on those days when we do have those hybrid classes that do meet. In the admin office, we're open from 8 to 5. We are located on the 3rd floor. What you see there is the 3rd floor information desk. That's kind of your first stop if you have any questions about what's going on. If you have a book to pick up or to drop off, you want to get a charger for your laptop, or you need to check out a clicker, a pointer, whatever you need, that's kind of your go-to space there for those questions. So building access, if you have not been to our building, we have some control and some not control. So there are external stairwell doors, which I will show you, and an elevator that we do not control. Those that are kind of set. So those are open every morning at 7:45 a.m. and they do lock at 8 p.m. And they do and 5 p.m. on Fridays. And there is some exceptions on those Saturdays and holidays and all that type of stuff. So just know that it's not this 24-hour access that you may be familiar with in a different college experience. And you will need your CAT card. So if you do not have one yet, we'll talk about how to get one in a little bit. You will need that for those stairwell access doors, or if you are after 5 o'clock, some other interior access doors will require your CAT card to access that. So just keep that in mind, especially for those that are taking evening classes. That might be something that you want to keep in the back of your head to obtain that CAT card. And then even though the elevators do lock, you can't exit the building through the elevator. You just would not be able to go back up. So the biggest perk that we have here at Biltmore Park, other than wonderful education experience, is that parking is free. We have a large parking deck on the back side of the building. And we just ask that you do not park in the visitor spots. Those are kind of reserved for retail as we kind of play and compromise with our neighbors here. But it is free parking on levels 3, 4, or 5, 24 hours, or not 24 hours, but there's no like time limit for that free parking for that. So during your entire stay as a student, it is not a big deal. You will see some parking in the front of the building that is parallel. We ask that you do not park in those. Those are reserved for retail spaces. And then across the street, if you are parking maybe at the REI parking lot, we ask that you don't park there all day either. They may kind of do a little bit of towing for that. So this is the view from the parking deck. I'm going to try and explain this the best I can, since some of you may not have been here or have accessed the building if this were an in-person orientation. So I'll start from left to right at this picture. So on the left, that is an external stairwell door that will get you to the 3rd floor. Is one that will unlock at 7:45 and then will lock at 8 o'clock. So it is not a cat card access. But when you get to the top of the stairs, entering the 3rd floor from the stairwell, that is a cat card access. So we do not have an internal stairwell like say like in an office building where you can just kind of walk up an interior set of stairs. They're all more like a kind of like hallway stairs kind of a thing. Where that arrow is pointing at the tree, that is the main entrance to our main lobby, which I'll show you a picture of. Again, that is one that will open and close at certain times, not a cat card access, but whenever your class is during the day or the evening, that will be unlocked there. And then the second to the left, that single door, that is another internal stairwell door that has the same locking, and you will need your cat card to get to the 2nd or 3rd floor there. And then to the right, that is our door. So that one you can use a cat card to enter. So it'll make sense kind of when you kind of get the feel of it there. But that door on the right allows us kind of some a little bit more access as a student, especially on Saturdays when we are open. So that is a cat card door there. So of all days like today with snow impending, as far as cancellation of classes go, weather announcements will be put on the website and also be sent via email. If you go to the website, please make note that there may be 2 separate announcements, one for Cullowhee and one for programs in Asheville at Biltmore Park. If you are not familiar with Western North Carolina, we can have multiple weather systems happening at the exact same time and probably within the same day. So just please keep that in mind. And hopefully your instructors will also reach out to you to let them know if they're having their own kind of personal cancellations or if they're going to have you do something in lieu of classes. As a former student myself, I'd be hard pressed for an instructor to say nothing is going to happen. We are in grad school now, so something will be due. It'll just be due in a different modality. So classes may be canceled, but just keep in mind and check out what your instructor may send. If there is a late start, which is very rare, we are not doing a 2-hour delay where we truncate the classes to fit everything in. If we start at 10 a.m., whatever was happening at 10 a.m. that day, that is where we start. So if you had an 8 to 9:30 class or what have you, that is gone, and we'll just start at 10 a.m. wherever we are. We will not post anything on WLOS or like that for cancellations. So just check your email and the website. And we try to make those early enough in the morning if we had to wait, or the evening before for that. So as far as security and safety, we just say in case of emergency, call 911. We do not have any WCU campus security presence at this facility. There is a security crew that is through Biltmore Farms that kind of roams, but as far as, needing that 911 type EMS, fire or police presence, we would call 911. There are some emergency procedures as well, in the event that we had to do kind of a little lockdown. There are deadbolts within each room that would that they can lock down the building as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. And as far as any kind of security procedures that has happened, the worst thing that has happened is someone stole a DVD player a couple of years ago. So What they were needing that for, I'm not sure, maybe just a crime of opportunity. But as far as that goes, we've not had to implement anything emergency related like that. So student spaces, if you are not familiar with our building, what you'll see on the left, that is that main lobby. We technically do not have control of that lobby as far as events or things, but that is all of our furniture. So you are 100% free to use that space as a student here in programs in Asheville. And then there is what we call the pyramid. That is on the first floor, kind of going towards kind of off to the right of the lobby, another maybe a little bit more private kind of space if you need that there. So all of that can be used either to do work, have lunch, whatever you need to use. And then part of, if you aren't familiar, we did a large renovation and expansion, taking over the second floor of this building. And part of that was adding kind of a cafe area for students. And that has become very popular, a little bit more casual study spacing, or if you just need to hang out, 30 minutes between class, have lunch, whatever, that space, super comfortable. That has allowed us just room to grow and expand our presence here and allow students a little bit more flexibility in their space and time at Biltmore Park. And we do need to update this picture there, and I'll talk about the grab and go in a second, but we have also expanded our self-serve kitchen there. So we have a massive commercial refrigerator and freezer if you want to bring your lunch. We've got a nice array of microwaves there as well to prepare that. So that space, especially for some of us that are here all day or coming straight from work and need to heat up dinner real quick before evening class, we have multiple options for that. And then the grab and go food just started getting set up and we're waiting on our coffee machine to grab in there. But think of that more as your kind of airport grab and go food thing where we have the sandwiches, the snacks, the salads or wraps, drinks, all that kind of stuff is set up on the second floor. So I encourage you when you come to class a little bit early and kind of walk around this space, just to kind of get familiar with all of that there. And then this is the third floor study lounge, kind of more of our popular study space, quiet lounge study space, a little bit more intimate setting for studying or group work there. And off to the right are two group work rooms, should you need kind of to separate a little bit to do some group work as well. And this is on the third floor. If you were to come off the elevator and turn right, you'll kind of see it at the end of the hall. Those are the group or the student workrooms there. We have two of them that you can reserve in advance. You can just easily do that also in person at the info desk right off the third floor elevator. We do have a stocked food pantry as well that we keep pretty fairly regularly stocked. And you'll see a freezer there for frozen goods off to the right. The goal of that is just to make sure that as a student here that you are not having to give up any other kind of part of your life in order to make this happen. We do kind of say that this is not intended to fully stock pantries or refrigerators, but definitely to help supplement, or if you just can't make it to the store one day because life happened, you have to go to class and you have to go home right after, we understand. So we want to make this as easy and as convenient as possible. Just put a little tally on a check sheet down there. That's all the information we ask for. So if you have not had a CAT card, I do encourage you to get one, not only to access all of the access points in the building, but also to print. If you tap your CAT card on the printer here, you don't have to type in your entire username and password. That just makes it a lot easier. And also library books to check out. It's a photo ID that we use sometimes as well, just if we need a photo ID. You can use your CAT card at UNC Asheville's library as well if you need to use any of their resources or they have a book to get. So just email catcard@wcu.edu, birthday, address, and an appropriate photo there. Or you can just be Mr. Cat and have a nice picture like that. Hopefully we are familiar with these two programs, but just to make sure we're covering all the bases, my WCU and Canvas there. So we don't have any advising offices, or most like the official advising office is not housed here at Biltmore Park. So just kind of keep tabs on those should you need to reach out to the advising office located in Cullowhee or any other registrar kind of stuff or financial aid. So the bookstore does make deliveries each week to Biltmore Park's campus. Every Wednesday, they should be dropping off those deliveries there. And it will be located on the info desk in the 3rd floor, right off the elevator. We would like for you to call to check ahead call ahead to check if the book has arrived. The bookstore sometimes sends out an automated email, and especially at the beginning of the semester when they get maybe a little bit of backlogged, it may say your order has been processed and will be sent. But we will send you from Programs in Nashville an email saying that we have received it. So if you have an email from someone here saying it has been received, then we do have it. But just to make sure, you can call our number there. You can also do merchandise or your cap and gown. In a couple of years when we graduate, that can be sent here as well. And you can return books to the bookstore. We'll just kind of do a little switch off when they get here. So Paw Print, that's all the printer system that we have here, and I'll talk a little bit about that process later, but you can add money to that, to your CAD card through my WCU. There's a little bit of delay, so if you add money, give it about an hour before you tap your CAD card to use that. We do have a copier printer in that 3rd floor study area and on the 1st floor, especially if you're here on those Saturdays where we're only open on the 1st floor. We'll have a printer down there should you need it. The library, again, the CAD card is available for that, and you can access all that online. And then UNC Asheville Library is accessible for WCU students, and also interlibrary loan. If you're familiar with the UNC system or went to school at Western, UNC Asheville, or app, we kind of have our own network of books as well, and you can find more information about that through the library. Then we also have a Writing and Learning Commons that you can reach out to should you need any assistance for that. Military services, again, that is all housed over in Cullowhee. Just want to make you aware if you weren't. Likewise with Office of Accessibility Resources, or what we call OAR. That's kind of the impetus is on you for these. So reach out if you have any questions on those. I'm always happy to help direct you should you have any questions as well. Same with Center for Career Professional Development. They'll run some events out here, job fairs, things like that. It's good just kind of keep them on the back of the mind as you are maybe looking for internship opportunities or getting closer to that graduation and maybe needing some kind of that next step career development help. So next couple slides are going to be IT related. Like I said, we do have an IT person here, but there's one of him, about 700 some odd students and about 50 plus faculty staff. So the fastest way will probably just be to call the help desk or go to that ithelp.wcu.edu. And if it's something that AJ here can help with, they'll kind of ping him pretty quickly and have him assist you for that there. But those are those options. Multi-factor authentication. If you have not done that already, I encourage you to scan that QR code. It may take a minute. You can scan that and maybe hold that off to the side to do that, and then to download that logo. That's to access my WCU. A lot of times kind of going through there, it's going to send that thing to your phone where you have to plug in this number to the phone app to allow you to access that. So we do use that there. And if I go through this and you haven't set up, IT is more than happy to help walk you through these as well if you come across any kind of question. So Paw Print, the way that you can use our copier printer is you will load it to webprint.wcu.edu, upload your document there, and then wherever you tap your CAD card, and it's a WCU printer, you can print that document. So most of our students are using the 3rd floor lounge here, but if you find yourself in Cullowhee needing to print, it is the same process. You load up that document, tap your CAD card, as long as you have some cash on there, you can print. When you come to Western, if you have not already, you will set up your EduRoam. So that is kind of that one step that's going to pop up on your laptop or your phone. You can go that way. You can connect to WCU Guest, but we ask that you go through that EduRoam. That is also a lot of universities and campuses, especially in the UNC system, use EduRoam. So UNC Asheville uses that if you need to access internet, or if you're on their library, for example, you automatically connect to theirs. We do offer Microsoft Office for free. You can scan that QR code or go through the IT website to access that. And then we do have OneDrive storage, about 100 gigs there. You'll find that through your apps when you kind of go through all that. It can be accessed from any device. Just take a look at that. This is more of an FYI than how to set it up here. And should you need to be purchasing a laptop, WCU has a couple of requirements for that. If you have any questions, the biggest one is not using iPads or Chromebooks. We found that, or they found, or it might be known, that a lot of exam software may not load on those or all these kinds of things. IT knows a little bit more of why and what, but they ask not to use an iPad or a Chromebook as your official laptop. And then there's some other recommendations and things on there if you are needing to purchase a laptop. Western also has a code that you can use. You can go through the IT's website and get a discount on laptops through Apple or Dell. And this is the website. They've kind of created a little, basically a link for any question that you're probably going to have on that one. So that's all the stuff for IT. That's all the stuff for Biltmore Park. So we are your kind of liaison and main link to Colwy. Feel free, if you have any question, let me know. Shoot me an email, shoot Kevin an email, or stop by that info desk. We are happy to connect.
Thanks, Andrew.
Feel like I
Yes.
froze about 10 times during that. Sorry.
No, it wasn't 10 times.
Okay.
It was pretty steady all the way through. Just at the end there, it froze for a second, but I'm glad you're back. Yeah, thank you for all that information. I have some information to share everybody as well. So if you could just hang with me here for a few more minutes. The graduate school is also here to help. So I wanted to show you kind of what we offer you. Even though we are located in Cullowhee, we still do events and professional development and things like that that extend to Biltmore Park. So I wanted to share a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen one more time. So here's our contact information. As Andrew said, you're always welcome to reach out to the Biltmore Park admin, but you can also reach out to us. Our email is grad@wcu.edu. So if you're not sure where to start, you can always start with us as well, and we can point you in the right direction. We're open on weekdays from 8 to 5. And we also have social media that's been growing a bit the past few years. So we would love if you followed us or at least checked us out if you haven't already. We post about our events. We like to highlight students. So if you ever do anything, you want to tag us, and maybe you're traveling to a conference, or maybe you're just studying or anything while you're a graduate student, you can tag us at WCU Grad School. And yeah, we would love to see what you're getting into as a grad student. Another thing to note, this isn't the funnest thing to talk about, but the graduate school does have different policies than the undergrad when it comes to academics. So we just want to make sure everybody is aware. So before I go over this, I wanted to remind you that we're here to help. So if you ever feel like you're getting into trouble, maybe you're struggling with a course or something like that, definitely reach out to us and or your advisor, because we always want to help you. So we're here to help, so don't be afraid to reach out. But when it comes to grades in grad school, one F grade will result in a dismissal. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So if you ever feel like you're kind of flirting with that grade a little bit, definitely reach out to us or your advisor. We could see what resources we have and how we can support you and get you back on track. Additionally, a third C grade would result in dismissal. So if you already have 2 C's, definitely be careful, because that third one would be a dismissal, and we don't want to do that. So another thing to note, let's say you do get dismissed, hopefully that won't happen, but if you do, and maybe you come back in the future, those grades can't be replaced. So they would be on your transcript permanently. So just something to be aware of, and don't be afraid to reach out if you feel like you might be getting one of these grades and you want a little bit of extra support, because we're here to help. Another thing to note is we have a stop out policy. Stop out basically means taking a break. So as a grad student, you can stop out for 2 semesters consecutively in a row. And no, there's no penalty. You don't have to do anything official with us. You don't have to submit a form or anything. The only thing I would advise you to do is to let your program director know so that they can help you kind of create an entry plan to come back and to finish your program. So just let the program know that you're taking a break. It happens all the time. Just note that if you are out for more than 2 semesters, so once you reach that 3rd semester out, your account would deactivate. Your record would still be here, but if you wanted to return, you would have to go through the admission process again. So if that ever happens and you want to kind of plan maybe taking a break and coming back, just reach out to your program or reach out to me and we can help you with that. Another thing to know is we do accept transfer credit. So sometimes maybe you want to take a course elsewhere and you want to see if that can be transferred in. It is possible. Each program is a little different. So you would definitely want to get approval from your program first if you want to do that, just to make sure your course is transferable with their curriculum. So reach out to your program director or your advisor first. We can also potentially transferring courses you took prior to attending Western if they're graduate level. So just reach out if you want to do that. And then lastly, withdrawing. So if you feel like you're kind of having a hard time with a course and you want to withdraw, or you want to withdraw for any reason, that is totally possible. It happens all the time. But just be aware that there is a deadline for withdrawing. And once that deadline passes, you might not be able to withdraw again. And you would have to complete that course and it would stay on your transcript. So just be aware, the sooner you can withdraw from a course if you need to, the better. Definitely don't put it off. And if you're not sure, the registrar's webpage posts the deadlines for course withdrawals. So you can check that out or reach out to us if you want to know. So moving on to some better fun topics here for just a moment. I want to talk about professional development and what the grad school offers to all students. So whether you're online or you're in Colorado or you're in Asheville, all of this applies to you. So one thing to know is we have a graduate student association, and we actually have a position specifically for Biltmore Park. We call it the Biltmore Park Liaison. So we're always interested in connecting all of our campuses more. And the GSA is really here to support students. So the most important thing they do is they provide travel funding. So this is a reimbursement if you're traveling to a conference or maybe you're entering a competition or something like that. They can reimburse a part of your travel costs depending on where you're going and what you're doing and things like that. And we send out an application to apply for this every semester. We're going to probably be sending out the spring application in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. You'll hear more about that as you're studying here at Western. And GSA also offers some networking opportunities, and sometimes they have events. A lot of the time they're virtual just because, everybody has really different schedules. We want to catch as many students as we can. So for example, every month they've been doing a graduate student forum, which is essentially a virtual meeting where you can kind of just chat with other grad students from different programs or from your program and just talk about experience as a grad student. So be on the lookout for that. They also post on Instagram. Their Instagram is WCU GSA. So check them out. They post about, their board members and they post about the events that they're doing. So that's a good way to keep up to date with what GSA has going on. And I'll also plug, we are going to have an application for our next year's GSA Executive Committee. So if you're interested in joining and being a GSA member, definitely apply. It will probably send out the application in the next few months, and you'll get that in your Catamount email. So be on the lookout for that. We also have 2 events that Biltmore Park students are definitely encouraged to attend if you can. One of them is the 3MT. This is submitted virtually, so you can submit a 3MT video without even coming to Cullowhee. So this is essentially a 3-minute video where you present your research or some kind of project in front of a static slide. And it doesn't have to be traditional research. So even if you're not doing a thesis, maybe you're an MBA student and you're just researching a topic and you want to practice presenting it and be considered for a cash prize because our winners get prizes. I would encourage all students to apply. It's really easy to do. And we have a watch party where we, watch the top 10 submissions every fall. So we'll be sending out more information about this in the fall. So be on the lookout for that. And the second event we do is always in the spring. It's called the Graduate Research Symposium. And this is essentially part of a larger professional conference that we do every year where both undergrad and grad students come together and present their research. So at the graduate level, we have research posters and an oral presentation competition. So all students can apply for this and register, and you can even submit virtually. So for example, the research posters, you can submit them virtually, or if you want to come down to Cullowhee and present on campus, you can do that as well. We would love for more Biltmore Park students to come to this event, so I wanted to plug that here. And that's all I have for the graduate stuff today. All of this is going to be on our graduate orientation webpage. So I'm going to put a recording up here that you can refer back to later. And we also have videos available from all of our various service units. They made videos for you all to kind of welcome you. So definitely check that out. The recording of this will likely be up on the website by tomorrow. So that is all I have for you all today. Thank you so much for being here and spending time with us. We're really excited for you to start graduate school at WCU. And we're always looking to improve our application process and our orientation process. So we would love it if you would fill out this brief survey for us and just let us know what you thought. We would really appreciate that. And if you think of any other questions that you have, maybe we didn't cover or something comes up as you're starting next week, definitely reach out to us or Biltmore Park and we'll help you out there. But if you don't have any other questions, then you are free to go. Like I said, if you have anything else that you think of, just reach out. It looks like we had a question about CAT cards, if they can be mailed to Biltmore Park or if they can be mailed to you. I think normally they're mailed to you, and I'm not sure if it can be mailed to Biltmore Park, but I think normally you would put your address and they can mail it directly to you.